Welcome to Not Your Man's Sports Podcast.
The podcast where two long distance besties spill the tea on fantasy football, game day drama, and everything in between. My name's Andrea.
And I'm Ashley. And we are through week 5 and we are pretty much starting week 6. So before
Basically,
we
week six.
dive into the podcast for this week, let's just kind of give a little update of why we are late this week of posting this. So,
It's
Andrea,
all,
what was going on?
it's all my fault. It really is this time. I run half marathons for fun, and I ran the main marathon, the half, not the full, this Sunday. So then I was traveling, going through Boston. So I finally made it home, and air travel sucks right now, as probably some of you are experiencing, with there being delays with air traffic controllers, or in my case, pilots were being given away. Didn't know you could do that, but they gave away our pilot. So we are late. Sorry, friends. We'll be better next week, I promise.
How was the half?
It was good. It was one of my friend's first races or ever. She literally just went full send into a half marathon, not a 5K to even start her off, just full send into a half marathon. So I ran with her. And because I have a lot going on that I probably need to discuss with the therapist, I decided that I would be fine to run 3 half marathons in 6 weeks, like 7 weeks, I guess. Really short amount of time in between. So I took this one easy and ran with her. But it's good. Thanks for asking. Maine is beautiful, by the way.
I know we were texting a little bit and I was like, how are the leaves? How are things? And also shout out to Amanda because being her first half, like, and first race in general, like she didn't even do one of these like, and no shade against like the trendy
The
cute,
couch to 5K.
no shade, but like she went for it. So proud of her to
Okay.
finish and like, just props. I love it.
Honestly, finishing is just the goal.
Yeah.
But like that's the ultimate goal for any of these big races. So it's a very big mental game. So if any runners out there, I know it's running season. Good luck to you.
Yeah. Godspeed. Have a
Godspeed.
great
Ashley, are you not running one? Do you not want to bring back the half marathon itch in your life?
I am almost, gosh, what year was it? Was it 2013, 2014? I think it was 2014 was my last half. And it's the anniversary of it is this month. My last half was the Nike half in San Francisco. Fantastic run. I just was super overtrained. I am like I stopped running for a very long time and I am currently running again, but no plans in my future just yet for a race. So, and I also like I run because like if I am ever invited to go do a run, I don't want to have to like think like, oh, I have to train. There are some distances where I would definitely have to train again, like a half I would have to train. But if somebody was just like, hey, you want to do a 5K? I don't want to have to like be like, oh shit, I have to train. So I run also because you can't really see him, but my dog back there is absolutely insane and he has a lot of energy. So he is my favorite running partner. Um,
And
so
I also think people our age, like especially nowadays, are regaining the love of running because I think running years ago was such a you have to run to lose weight, and like we had really negative experiences with running. But I think in these last like this past year, these past 2 years, like it's regaining momentum. Like it's being rebranded as like you can do this and enjoy it, and it does not have to be weight loss specific. It just be like a mental clearing. Like it's just something that like regaining the love of running, I think, is coming back.
I totally agree with that. And like both of us do have jobs in the fitness world. And I see it too, just with like people wanting to embrace like their body in a different way. They're not exercising necessarily to be smaller or whatever. And it's okay if you're doing that, like that's your thing. But I agree. Like I definitely I look back and I'm like, wow, I was underfed, I was under recovered. Like there's like it's no wonder my body was falling apart as much as it did, and then overtraining and that just it it's a lot. So I'm excited for like you guys obviously like to have finished. I know you're going for a very big goal in about a month and then I know that Amanda's looking to sign up for something else and
She
I'll
already
just
caught the bug. She was starting to talk about what's next. I'm like, you either run a half and it's like you have an itch, or you're just like, check that box, marked it off. She was like, what race am I going to do next? What race is coming up into Denver? I'm like, let's
okay.
go.
Yeah, for me, it's gonna be me with my dog harness around my waist for, we run a couple times a week and that's good enough for us for now. So we'll see. So, um, so perfect. Short life update. That's why we're late. It's not a big deal. It's gonna look a little different today on the episode just because, by the time you listen to this, it might be already Thursday and we'll be kicking off into week 6. Like, wow. So it is what it is. Whatever. We do this.
So we do this for fun. So I guess with that, Ashley, do you want to give a little bit of an update on how your fantasy team is doing?
Yeah, so let's start. Which league do you want to start with?
Let's start with your dynasty. I also have to pull it up on my phone because I'm like, how do I give a good description of our teams without me looking at my phone?
Perfect. So my dynasty team is doing very well. Actually, Andrea, we are very similar in the dynasty team or the dynasty league.
And,
So
and what else happens this week?
we play each other this week. Actually, I think in both leagues.
Wait, really? I thought it
Maybe.
was just dynasty.
Oh no, I play
No.
Gina. Okay. Just dynasty. So my dynasty team is 7-3. In our league, that means that I am tied for third place with Andrea. Um, I actually am feeling pretty good about the dynasty team this year. I think last year around this time I was like I need to burn it to the ground and like start like really playing the waiver wire trading, etc. For my team specifically right now, I think my biggest loss was James Conner going on IR. However, thankfully, I really focused on like running backs and building my running backs just because last year was such a huge injury year for running backs. So I'm loving my team. I mean, there's things that like really irritate me, like Jalen Hurts last week not getting as many as Baker Mayfield, who was on my bench. But again, you're starting Jalen Hurts over Baker Mayfield. Like it just is a thing. Um, Kyron Williams, he had a fumble and that like I don't know why he can't hold on to a ball sometimes, but that's his thing. That's like his brand. But there's a couple players. I did put Stephon Diggs in my lineup just for you for this upcoming week.
Oh,
Um,
thank
I,
you.
I
So
know you
honored.
love that. We'll talk more about that. But
Oh,
how are you feeling about the dynasty?
Um, so I think this is when my players need to figure their lives out or have some, come to Jesus conversations, but also a lot of my players have someone like a bad quarterback situation. And I think the injuries to the quarterbacks are really painful if you have like someone like a Jamar Chase, and I don't have him on my team, but I have like Zay Flowers, and like not having Lamar to help like really propel him is really detrimental to the wide receivers that depend on these like really strong quarterbacks. Um, so I think that we're starting to go, or for my example, I have two Jets players, which already is incredibly painful, who have a terrible everything. So my running back and
The
wide
win.
receivers,
They're the only
yeah,
one that hasn't won.
and
Yeah.
I love having a star wide receiver and running back not utilized properly. My only dream is they hopefully get traded to a better team.
Fingers crossed for them. But
So
you have a couple players on buys this week as well, though you have a pretty good bench, so I'm not concerned for you.
yeah, I need to one day I'll set my lineup. So I'll be ready for you. Now we'll just look. Everyone's just, we're waiting. We're sitting in the wings waiting.
That's kind of so spoiler alert, I do this sometimes just to like mess with people. Like if I know I'm gonna like change people in and out of my lineup, I sometimes don't do it until the last minute. So then somebody thinks they're like, oh, I'm gonna win or whatever. And then I
Yeah.
like change it and I'm just like, okay.
Like,
So
oops,
usually
sorry.
you'll see me making moves like Saturday night or Sunday, like really early. And that's why, is because like I knew I was going to be making some moves. Whether it's like picking up a player, dropping a player, moving my lineup. For this, I'll just be honest with you. This is probably my lineup for the week. So there's going to be probably no surprises for you.
I'll be honest, I have to drop someone
That's okay.
in order to set my lineup. I don't know who I'm going to drop.
So, well, I'm not going to give you advice, honestly. So,
Well,
I'm also irritated in our dynasty league because my husband is in first place and like statistically that just never happens. And I was telling him that he doesn't even listen to this. I could talk shit all I want. Statistically that never happens. He's usually like very bottom of the pack. And then your husband made a comment that my husband might just like never lose again. And I was like, seriously, like don't encourage him because like it gets in his head and he's like walking around here like thinking he's the best fantasy player. And I'm like, I've never seen you win a league and you've watched me win like multiple years. So
Nick's giving him like an ego boost over here. Don't worry, I'll get on Nick after this and be like, Nick,
yeah, we
giving people some
have
ego
some.
boost over here.
So also I think it was this league he may have just dropped Trevor Lawrence. Maybe it was the other league, but no, it was the other league. But and I made fun of him for it because my husband is the classic person who like waits to draft his quarterback and then he ends up with like the worst quarterback. And then I was like, you're gonna drop Trevor
And then
Lawrence.
complains about it.
Yeah, he's always like, my quarterback's like sucks and gets like 5 points or whatever. So, the funny conversation we had today when he dropped Trevor Lawrence, I was like, wow, you're gonna drop Trevor Lawrence after his performance on Monday night. And he was like, yeah, but this upcoming week he'll get like 8 points. So I was like, yeah, and then next week he'll be injured. So, I'm not hoping that for Trevor Lawrence. I really do hope he stays healthy, but yeah. So, okay, what about our redraft league? Um, how are we feeling there?
Oh, I'm broken. It's 1-4. We're needing a win or we're just calling it quits right now. I think we have the same record.
We do.
I need everything because this team is very much injured. They are lackluster in the performance where I drafted them to be. It's just all broken. There's no, and it's a 12-team league, so even though our benches are small, there's no one to pick up.
No, and we have such a small waiver wire, like money. Like we only have $100 in that one, whereas like the keeper we have $1,000, and so I'm already over halfway through my. I'm like I have $48 left to spend in this
Yeah,
league. Um, But like even you, I'm like looking right now, you have the most points scored against.
yes, I
So
do.
you are just like getting crushed out there. You have 667 points scored against. I have 564, so I just suck. So there's like also a difference there of like you're just getting like beat
I'm
by
just
teams
saying,
that have more people probably that are going off. I just don't have a good team.
this is honestly why. So in our dynasty league, Nick implemented median, which initially was being called Ashley's rule because Ashley was the reason why she kept having these killer weeks. She would be number like 2 or 3 in like the top points scored in those little like match roll ups, but she would lose every single week because she just happened to play the better team. But it wasn't a reflection on her team itself. So if your league might have like a league median where if your team still scores like a top 5 best points, you get an extra win. So that's why whenever we're like, we're 7-3, it's because we have a league median to help really showcase like if you have a good team, you're winning. Like I played a team that scored 140 points, but I scored 130.
Which would
I
usually
we were the
go
two
pick.
highest scorers, and I would have destroyed anybody else. But I just got unlucky that he had the highest scoring week. But at least I got the median, so it wasn't like super indicative of my total points.
And that specific year, because this is the second year we're doing the median, but the specific
Mhm.
year that we start because of that year we started the median, I think I had like over 200 more points against than like anybody else. And I was
Anybody
just like what can I can't even do anything at that point. Like, and so I do like that. It is kind of like funny though, because then sometimes you'll actually lose the game, but you're still above the median, so you're still getting a win. So you go 1-1 for the week. The killers are the weeks where you go 0-2, where you're losing both, and then you're like, ooh, which happened to me, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Um,
That was my entire year last year. I was just
Brr. So, yeah,
nervous.
you and I are both in the same spot in both leagues, which is actually funny.
Crazy.
For our redraft league, I did bet on two, or bet, I tried to bid on two players. I broke my own rule and got a Panthers player this week, and I did outbid Nick, your husband. But I outbid by way too much because I was like, everyone's gonna get him. And watch, he does nothing for like the rest of the year. And now I have like almost $0 left for like the rest of the year.
That's always the funny thing is whenever you're bidding and trying to guess like how much are people gonna bet on this person. And like you might be like, oh my God, I gotta throw down like $150 and the next person is just like $1.
That's what happened. I threw down 32 and Nick threw down 6. And I was originally gonna do 15, but then I was like, everyone's gonna bet on him because he had such a good week. So yeah, he got 32 points last week. It's Dowd, just so everyone knows. Um,
Yeah, because Chuba is out.
Yeah, and so like probably like this upcoming week, it's just like the Trevor Lawrence thing with my husband. This upcoming week he'll get probably like 4, and I'll be like,
Yeah,
so glad I spent all of my money and broke my own rule of having a Panthers player on my team. So, ugh,
you're
so
not right.
I am not that league is like throwing me. I think it's just because it's a 12-person league, it's like really throwing me. It's been a minute since I've been in a 12-person league.
Same. My players just are hurt
Oh.
or underperforming. Chase Brown.
Mm. Yeah, I have a lot of younger players on my bench, but CD Lamb going down really, really, really messed me up.
He
But what
comes back next week, right?
he's questionable for this week, but it on the thing it says he'll be back within the next 2 weeks. So we'll see. At this time, which again, I don't expect Gina to have set the lineup, but I'm expected to win. And I know that her lineup's not set because somebody with a buy is still in her thing. I actually don't know Gina. Shout out to Gina. What's up? I don't know if you listen to this, but
Maybe she might.
yeah, I was like, I don't
I
know her
think so.
really. She makes some really funny comments in the chat, so that's all I know. So
She's from Philly, so
yeah,
she's gonna join in with all of our Philadelphia friends. So
yeah,
basically, shout out Eagles fans. We have a lot of Eagles fans that are friends.
perfect. Yeah. Oh, and when we get on the clock, I do have a thing that I did read about the Broncos Eagles, so I'll share that.
Ooh,
So, um,
perfect segue.
yeah, why don't we? So instead of doing on the clock, because like honestly, I'll be real with you, I have like the memory of a goldfish, and I don't remember half of the things that like I sit down and I watch Red Zone every Sunday. I don't remember half of the things I watched on Sunday. That's just how life has been. So we're not going to be on the clock today of like timing it, but we're going to go over, like we'll still tell you guys the score if you don't know it. We might give you a couple of things just from a couple of these games that we do have some thoughts on. Otherwise, we're just going to keep it moving because we do have some tea that we want to spill today. So I'm not starting the clock, but Andrea, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start with 49ers and Rams. I'm referring to this as the Battle of Cali. The 49ers and their very, very injured offense, barely scraping by. My biggest thoughts are what's going to happen whenever Purdy does come back because Mac Jones is technically wouldn't be a starter with basically any other team, but he's a backup, which is great for them right now. But it's like, if he's doing really well and helping them win with a terrible team, what happens with this dynamic moving forward? That's my question.
That is like such a good point too. And like also I like have a funny joke and I love
Yeah.
that I say that because like I'm not gonna cut this. So now I'm just telling you I'm telling you a joke. But I am so curious like how CMC has stayed healthy. And I like think of like the Avengers of like what did it cost everything? And I really think like probably like somebody sold their soul to the devil to keep CMC healthy this season. Cause like how is he the one? How is he the
He's
one?
the one healthy one. And then
It's
it's every wide receiver is gone. Your tight end is gone. Your quarterback is gone. Yet CMC
just crushing.
producing 20 to 25 points a game.
Yeah, easily. And he has a new baby that is so adorable. If you guys have not seen the pictures on Olivia Copel's Instagram, like go check them out. Because first of all, I love her. She's absolutely stunning all the time. But like their baby, so cute. So cute. So congrats to them. But like what? How is he healthy? It's the first time in seasons.
Truly. And
So
he needs it though.
we have Vikings versus Browns. I have really no comment on that because I actually don't think was that the one, is that the out of town one? I don't know. Was it? I don't, whatever.
I don't remember.
Vikings won 21 to 17. So keeping it moving. Texans versus Ravens. Texans won 44 to 10. And I'm just gonna say the Texans aren't like that good as we remember from a couple of weeks ago. Like we were like, bro, what is going on in like for the Texans? But like honestly, what is going on for the Ravens?
So here's my question. If Lamar's out for another game and they lose another game, is it worth them playing Lamar? Is it worth them trying to win anymore? Like, what do you do for the rest of the season? Because they've won one game.
It's really bad. Like we could probably pull up the teams who have only won one game. I would not have expected the Ravens to be in that list of teams that have only won
No,
one game.
I thought that was going to be an on-map playoff team, like going into the season, and now they've won one.
Yikes.
So something to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on it, friends.
You know, I think it could be bad juju because I will say it now. I will say his name now because I've been avoiding it. Justin Tucker is no longer on their team and he shouldn't be. I 100% think that, and Browns, please take note. I 100% think that if somebody has even a rumor of any type of mistreatment of anyone in general, women, etc., they should not
Mhm.
be on the team. So also props to the Ravens because I was like, that was like a huge decision because Justin Tucker was like the top kicker in the league for a very, very long time. But like, was that like kind of a distraction? Are there other distractions? Like usually when a team goes
Mm.
from being like one of these top teams to like crashing, Chiefs, there's something else going on that we just don't know.
True. Is that a good segue into the Broncos and the Eagles?
Yeah, so Broncos, Eagles. So Broncos beat the Eagles 21 to 17. Just to gonna put this out there for all of my Eagles friends. I was cheering for the Eagles because I am a lifelong hater of the Broncos. So in my years of knowing, like I know the other week we talked about like I was a kid and
Yeah.
in love with a kid whose last name was Shanahan. In my years of being like conscious,
And
I was a hater. Um, so anyways, the tea there is the Broncos took an extra lap around Philly before going back to the airport while so that everyone could see their bus. And then in their locker room, they were playing Meek Mill on blast. The shade, the disrespect. I still was cheering for the Eagles. Also, Jalen Hurts did not look like Jalen Hurts. So I don't know what was going, but that could be the Broncos defense because the Broncos defense is actually really good.
Broncos defense is good. But I don't know. Do when you do extra stuff like that, it's giving very much dancing in the center of the field energy that basically just gives you bad vibes and bad juju for the rest of the year. So Broncos, we'll check in on you.
Though I
Also,
will say Nick Benito, first of all, love him. He has an apartment close to my brother, like in the same building as my brother, so they see each other all the time. But Nick Benito is, I think, on track to get like, I think it's like a ridiculous number of sacks this year. Like I think it's like 25 plus sacks.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. So uh I still hope he has a great season just because like, you know, I guess like second degree of separation or
A
whatever.
neighbor.
But yeah,
Like
he's
he's
a
my neighbor, right? In a way.
friend that I don't know, but you know, I hope he has a great season. But Broncos, I don't know if you just like got yourself a bad juju. So we'll see. We did skip over Giants versus Saints. Saints won 14 to 26. We'll keep it moving.
Going to Cowboys versus Jets. You guys can assume that the Jets lost. So that's it. That's all I'll say.
We're just gonna keep it moving. Raiders versus,
Uh,
I think we can also assume.
because the next one, Daniel Jones was back to
Yeah,
being Coach Daniel Jones.
yeah.
Side note, Nick, so over the course of like last year, there's a guy that sings This Is Our Colts, and he puts this like Twitter video out there. He's finally starting to like gain some traction with like the NFL now. He was just like this local dude that was doing this fun, cute thingy on Twitter. He like neighs after it.
Oh,
I'll send you the link afterwards so you can like drop it into the video. They like neighs afterwards, and like now the NFL is like making their own twist on it whenever the Colts won. So big
hey.
time for just a guy who makes. I think Nick said that his job is he just like reviews movies. Like he has like a Twitter that's just like reviewing movies, which is I don't know, wholesome.
I love that. Yeah, we're gonna drop that guy's profile in the description so you guys can go show him some love because Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Colts. Then we had the Dolphins versus the Panthers, which was actually kind of an exciting game. The Dolphins looked like they were about to absolutely crush the Panthers. I think it was like 17 to 0, and I was over here like having an existential crisis. Like, this is my team. Like, what am I doing with my life? Like,
Uh,
kind of one of those. But then the Panthers, oh my gosh. They came back. Their final drive, because I watched Red Zone, because we don't get Panthers broadcasts unless they're playing certain teams in Colorado. I watch Red Zone to get like all of the clips, and usually they're really bad clips, like turnovers and like touchdowns against them. But their final drive was actually the drive of the week on Red Zone. And
really?
I was like, my Panthers, I love you guys. It was amazing. I was hyped. Like, we'll just say that. So,
I'm obsessed.
yeah. And also, uh, the Dolphins coach, like, is he on something?
Maybe he's like a Miami drug dealer now. I have no idea. He every week he comes out with saying something that gets worse and worse and worse, or just is really stupid and funny. Like, in order to win, you have to win. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I saw some of his after game presser, and I was like, I don't know what's going on with you, Josh. We need to like cut back on that. Okay.
It is can be. So moving on to the
So
Bucks and the Seahawks. The Seahawks defense hurt me. Um, and Baker Mayfield is the Baker Mayfield he was supposed to be. That's
sweet to say.
is that a good way to paraphrase it? I think so.
I actually love to see Baker thriving.
Yeah, why not?
Do it, Baker. I mean, I hate that you're in my division, but let's do it.
Let's do it. Run through these next two super fast because I don't have any commentary. If you do, please let me know. Titans versus Cardinals. Titans won.
Cardinals flopped. I think they actually blew that game. I think they had it and then they flopped. So moving right
That tracks
along.
for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Coms versus Chargers. Commanders won against the Chargers. Also, Chargers are feel like they're also a team that's getting hurt.
Yeah. I also want to say, like, there's one thing that like annoys me more than probably anything, and it's seeing like ex-Panthers in Buffalo and Washington just having a great time. And that was my only thing I wanted to say.
That was the moment. Um, Lions versus Bengals. We'll talk about that more later. But the Lions obviously beat the Bengals, which will tee up some fantasy. And to round it out, we have the two to talk about: Patriots versus Bills. So I was in Boston watching this game. I was wearing a Buffalo sweatshirt. My husband was wearing a Buffalo shirt. It was a Sunday. So weirdly, we were in a place that no one was really watching football and bothering us. We found a quieter sports bar. I have nothing good to say here. I refuse to accept the narrative that it was a dig revenge game, like the announcers were wanting to say. We did not look like the superior team. And honestly, I think sometimes you have to have a rough win. I mean, a rough loss, because we've had some rough wins. That's what I was trying to say. We've had some rough wins that were really embarrassing, but we're not going to learn from rough wins. We're going to learn from losses. So
Yeah.
let's do better. Also, we're never wearing those jerseys again.
What did you think of the jersey? So, minus the results, when you first saw the jerseys, were you like, hell yeah, or were you like, meh?
I liked the jerseys, but now that we lost in them, we can never bring them back.
My husband thinks that they would be really cool to play in like a snow game. And I was like, but then you wouldn't be able to see anyone because like sometimes the snow in Buffalo is like so much where it's even hard to see on the TV of like what's going on. So I was kind of like, yes, cool. I think we're missing the mark.
I'm missing the mark, but we should have played it during a snow game. That would have been perfect.
Be kind of fun.
It would
Um,
have been fun.
and then Monday night, because we actually can talk about the Monday night game, uh, the Chiefs lost again. Jags won. I literally, the final touchdown by Trevor Lawrence had me cracking up. Like he fell,
So
and I was like, that's the most Trevor Lawrence thing. He gets up and runs in for a touchdown. And I was like, what just happened? I was over here literally cackling.
funny thing is, I'm watching Love is Blind with my girlfriend on our small little phone while our husbands are watching this game. And they're literally like, stop watching this and watch the end of this game. And I'm just like, Trevor Lawrence falling. And then they still beat the Chiefs. It makes my loss a lot better to bring it back to me because you gotta, but the Chiefs losing and that's how they lose is just a Trevor Lawrence near fuck up is amazing.
There we are. Like, I think I only watched the fourth because I had a client and everything, but I only think I watched the fourth. But that was like the moment where I was like that final drive was also one of the fun drives of the week, I think. It's one of the
Such
few
a good
things I
drive.
remember of the week.
It's
Um,
one of the few things I watched this.
so that was amazing. Also, Chiefs and the Panthers have the same record, which if you know that meme where it's like the two people in like the train or whatever, and one is like looking out the window at like a bunch of rocks and one is looking at the window at the bunch of scenery. Us Panthers fans are looking at the scenery and so excited that we're 2-3.
Who wins?
The Chiefs fans are probably like, oh, so there you go. That was week 5
That's
in
week 5.
yeah. So
Well,
we have some tea that we got a lot of tea. So let's dive in. Do you want to
let's
start with our boy Jerry Jones?
yeah, we just have some fun quick headers to talk through. What's the drama going on in the league? First of all, Jerry Jones getting fined for giving the middle finger to fans. And the fact that he was like, I gave the wrong finger. I'm like, were you trying to give a thumbs up and you missed the mark because you're old?
He
Like,
is too
what
old.
did
I
it,
told you last week. I feel very uncomfortable seeing him at the games.
like, were you trying to like point with your index finger and you pointed? I'm confused. These mean different things. This is then it's finger guns.
And it's not even like a small fine. It's $250,000,
He's an idiot.
which I guess for Jerry Jones, that is a small fine.
That is a small fine. It's like, fining us $1.
I wonder, so
Maybe.
the owner of the Panthers threw a drink on a fan. Was that last
Yeah.
season or the season before?
Yeah, last season as a Jags fan.
I wonder, I don't remember off the top of my head how much he got fined, but like I don't think it was that much.
No, but also I think that everyone just hates the Panthers owner. And so they're just like, please just like everyone forget about him because we already know he's a piece of shit.
Well, I wish they had fined him more, so maybe he could go bankrupt and not own a team.
I think the city of Charlotte would really like that. Because in case you guys didn't know, anyone listening, the guy who owns the Panthers, because the city of Charlotte's so upset, they'll like make, signs and stuff on like restaurants, like talking shit about the Panthers teams and management, mostly the management. And he will stop at that restaurant and like demand the sign be taken down and like ask to speak for a manager. And I'm like, you're asking like you confronting like aggressively, like probably a 17-year-old kid working a hostess stand.
Yeah, he goes in and bullies them, and it's like the kid's like, I don't like have any control over that.
I have no control.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and he's very problematic, but we'll move on from him. Jerry Jones, good luck paying your fine. I mean, you have the money, so just pay it. Like, I don't know. So, all right. Speaking of coaches.
Then we have the Cardinals coach hitting his running back because the running back decided to drop the ball before going into the end zone, which I feel like has happened multiple times already this year. Players, hold on to ball before you cross white line.
Just
Ball.
like keep holding on to it. Like even if you think you've crossed it, hold on to it a little extra harder for a couple more steps. Like I don't know
The
what's
players are, I know, they're like wanting to celebrate so soon. I'm like, you can hold it onto it for just a couple more steps.
yeah, incorporate the ball into your celebration. So
Yes,
you
like,
know,
or ball first, ball forward.
yeah, this is what we need here. So yikes. Do you think so is he gonna get fined? Or
I
is it
think he
just like
was fined.
awkward for everyone?
No, I think he was fined. I'm pretty sure he was fined. I just didn't look up the price slash look at the price. Look at how much it was it for. I was just
All
like,
right.
here we go.
I didn't look up the price of hitting my running back.
But I have a whole string. Like my first three bullets here, friends, are all like people getting fined.
Yeah. But also, the Cardinals are just like in a downward spiral since James Conner's injury, and it's showing.
It's showing. Everyone's just like high emotions, especially because Benson, their second one, is on IR too. Just emotions are high. But
They're
like we
the team
don't hate
that should
you.
just call it quits.
So many things.
Oh. Cardinals are out. Moving on from
Things
them.
are out. Moving on. Um, does Odell does Odell play? Odell Beckham Jr. does play.
No, I don't remember. I know it was a couple of years ago he had a contract, right? Didn't he walk off the field like flipping off fans too during that, or was that somebody else?
That was Antonio Brown.
That was Antonio Brown. Just kidding.
Um,
Other guy who does.
Odell got hurt whenever he played for the Rams, and I don't think he's been picked up since. But he was suspended for a PED violation. I thought you had to play.
Why? Yeah, why are they still testing him?
Exactly. If he's trying to get on a team, can he play still?
Listen, there's plenty of people who should be on a team before him. I will still say Colin Kaepernick should have been on a team in his prime because that quarterback, he was like phenomenal. I don't know if like anybody remembers him playing in those last couple of seasons. Like he was phenomenal. He deserves a chance to be on a team. OBJ?
Odell, do your knees work?
Yeah. Listen, I haven't seen
You
anything
good?
great from you since like that one amazing catch with the Giants.
Yeah,
The Giants. So
the Giants.
that's it. So, oh, OBJ. I just didn't even know he was like I just haven't even thought of him for a long time.
No, that's why I was like, I was like, how did you get violent? Like, what? How did you get violent? How did you get violation?
How did you
Late
get a
guys, like, quick.
violation? You know what? Also, fined. He's fined.
He's fine. Everyone's problematic. Okay,
Everyone's
moving. I'm going to switch the next two to stay in the problematic theme. Ashley, what is legal sign stealing? Can you explain what legal sign stealing to me is?
I can't because like I also can't really explain illegal sign stealing because I watched the Netflix documentary on the sign stealing thing, which was really fascinating. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. Um, But I still get like really confused because I feel like I have eyeballs, and if I was looking across the thing and seeing somebody being like, whatever, I'd be like, oh, they're gonna run
Like,
this route. Yeah, like I'd be like, beep, they're running this route. Like, like
yeah,
that's me talking into my microphone. I don't know. But hold on. Beep, they're running this route. So, you know, like, so I'm still kind of unclear about what illegal sign because we all have eyeballs. So,
I think there's a recording element. So
okay.
legal sign stealing, in case you guys didn't know, the 49ers coach was accusing the Jags coach of legal sign stealing. But it's
So then what's the problem? That's like being like, Andrea, I'm like really upset that you legally crossed the street and you didn't jaywalk.
yeah, like I'm so confused. Like, what is if you're not breaking the rules, then did you just like observe them doing pat your head and rub your tummy? Like
Beep. I see the sign.
Simon says.
I just don't get I think I'm confused on this sign stealing thing more than it because
I
that
don't
dude
think
in the
it's like,
documentary wasn't filming anything.
yeah,
He was just watching them and would write it down or whatever. Which like I
yeah.
think should be legal because if you're being a dummy and like having these like weird like signs or whatever, and the other team has eyes and knows what that means.
And that's why people do like this thing where they talk
Yeah.
behind so people can't like lip read. So
Yeah. So
they just like,
I'm still in this gray area about sign stealing in general, but then like legal sign stealing, like why are we making it a problem? Because if it's
why is it?
legal, it's not a problem.
I think it's just a excuse being like, we lost and we're sore losers.
Then just get over it.
Or put a clipboard in front of your mouth.
Yeah. Or change up your codes and add a couple other like sign languages. I don't know. Like,
A, B, C.
so, uh, so that was exciting for them. Yeah, I couldn't define it and I couldn't make sense of that. So, um, Bengals fans, how are we feeling?
You got a quarterback. This is
But
the one you
it's
want.
Joe Flacco. Like, no shade. Like, Joe Flacco, no shade. But you're like kind of old.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
there's
like
a
bringing
serious
back
difference.
Matt Prater.
Matthew Prater. Yeah.
It's like there's a dad on the team.
And maybe that's a good thing because, like, you know, maybe the seasoned vet can come in and get something going. But, like, we have other options. And I'm still going to say Shador. I'm still going to say it. This man
Well,
deserves a chance, and he's third string.
he's second now in the for the Browns. He's moved up to two. Yeah. I don't know why I did this. He's two now. He's now two in the Browns. Um, but yeah, Joe Flacco. They're like, Mike, wait, goodbye. Joe Flacco. You're in. So maybe Jamar Chase will be relevant.
You know who they should have actually picked up? James. Like I'm
Yeah.
still gonna be a Shador stan, like through and through
Mhm.
until he gets his chance. Jameis though.
That would have been so entertaining. Just from an entertainment comedic standpoint for us.
And like he throws a lot like, he did have eye surgery. So he does throw like he used to have like a lot of interceptions and stuff like that. He was blind.
Maybe
But
on his phone, maybe got LASIK.
yeah, he did. He got it some type of eye surgery. So maybe he's better. And like maybe we should have given him a chance because at the end of the day, if I was given the option between Joe Flacco and Jameis Winston, I'd still probably pick Jameis. And I'm saying that because Jameis was with the Saints and I played
Yeah.
versus, like, not personally, I personally did not play.
You.
The Panthers played against
You
him.
you're very familiar with his work.
Yeah, I see his game and he cooked us. He cooked us, which wasn't that hard, but. whatever. So,
I
anyways, poor Jameis. Also get
Poor
him back
Jimmy.
in the league.
I know.
We had options.
Speaking,
And we went with Joe Flacco.
oh well, poor Bengals.
Yeah.
Moving on to people who want us to feel sorry for them. The Eagles wide receiver core. Okay, so now Devontae Smith is not happy, but like, I mean, up until this week, you're winning. If you want to go to like the Browns, where they aren't winning, you're probably going to see a larger percentage, but like you're winning. And like maybe it's because they have this like ego, like wide receiver mentality of the ball must be fed to me. But like in Buffalo, it's everyone eats. It's
Mhm.
whoever has the best shot at the ball. I don't know what the wide receivers are doing, but also I don't know what Jalen's doing. Jalen also runs the ball a lot. But like, why is everyone unhappy? Like, I feel like there's something else going on if everyone's like unhappy and not doing much. But it's like you guys were winning.
I guess I'm confused. Like, I feel like they maybe need to go on like a retreat together, like maybe get HR involved and they sit in a circle and like talk it out. Like, I don't know what they got to do, but
Have
you're
like
right.
the
Like,
sharing stick
yeah, like whoever is holding
file.
can like whoever's holding the sharing stick can talk and it is a safe space. Share your emotions and then pass it along. Let's get everything out in the open because they were 4-0, which is like phenomenal. That's amazing. They lose, and so now what comes out because obviously with a loss, it kind of I don't know, empowers people to like have this like grievance moment of like, I'm mad because I'm not getting the ball. Well, yeah, you know who else isn't getting the ball? Saquon. And he got the ball like literally the most last season.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like, and I know Saquon's a running back and like, but I'm just saying in general, your highest producing player didn't even get the ball.
No.
So like, I guess I'm just like kind of like what's going on there because it seems like there's a lot of very unhappy
There's a
guys.
lot of unhappy people.
And maybe
More
this
to
is
come.
time to share our emotions, men. Let's
Yeah.
figure it
The
out.
feeling, the sharing stick, the sharing nail file.
The sharing nail file. You need it.
I
And
need it.
please just pass it around.
Hmm.
And also don't get in Jalen Hurts' head because I need him to perform on my team.
Anyone but Jim.
Yeah. He is safe. He is not the problem.
Safe
He is
space.
the problem. He is not the problem.
You are.
Yeah.
We're
You
not pointing fingers, but
listen, Jalen Hurts is a tush push away from everything good. So just leave him alone. Leave Jalen alone. So just kidding. I don't know if he might be the problem. I don't know. Well, I hope not.
yeah.
But then this is a perfect thing for like the fantasy football world too, because like my issues with Diggs, when he was having problems in Buffalo, do you know who was having problems on her fantasy team? Me, because he wasn't performing. So men think that they're not drama and everything, but all of this stuff does show up in other ways, like your fantasy team. So if you have Smith, if you have, like we could talk to your husband about AJ. If you have some of these players who are unhappy, it's probably because their numbers are low.
Yeah, Ashley, aren't we so emotional? Aren't we the emotional ones?
Yeah, we are supposed to be the emotionals, but they're the problem actually. So it's because they don't have the talking stick. They don't feel safe to express their
No.
emotions.
We'll find a new book for AJ. Maybe he needs a book of sharing his emotions. He passed it around to the team.
I think they should start an actual book club.
Ooh, I think so too.
And they
That
can
would
all
be
be on
fun.
the sideline learning how to communicate efficiently with each other.
I'm sure some therapists could give us some really good books where like you read a chapter and then you have to write down your thoughts and you can share with the circle of like, this is how I'm feeling today.
Maybe they need like one for every week of the season.
They need to be a little more direct in their thinking and
Mhm.
their speaking. I
Yeah.
feel like everything's just like indirect. They need to be like very direct.
Yeah. But I mean, shoot, if you have him on your team, go because he ain't happy.
No. I have Devontae Smith. And the last thing on our list, things coming up that we will be listening to. Kristen Yuschek and Claire Kittle are starting a podcast called Wiped Up and Mic'd Up. It has not dropped yet, but I'm excited to listen to it for when it does.
I think I saw a clip because they were talking to CMC and George, and they were talking about Cam Newton. And they were like basically CMC was talking about how he looked like a small receiver for like the first or a small running back for the first 3 years of his career because Cam Newton is just such a big guy. And it brought me back. It brought me back. And I miss
I'm being transported back in time.
And Cam, I even went into the comments. This was on Instagram. I went into the comments and Cam commented on it. So nothing but love from Cam, which I love to see Cam out there. He's actually has like a late night show. I think he's starting, which I don't know the name of, but I'm excited to listen to it because they'll have good guests. You know that they obviously have like a bigger platform than us. So
Yeah.
that's great.
We're,
Our
we're not
competitors,
comparing.
they're our competitors now. So great.
Please listen, guys.
Yeah. So, anyways, shout out, guys. If we get a shout out back, it'd be great. So, hey, we're not stealing signs. Give us a shout out. Legal, legal sign stealing,
Legal sign stealing.
legal podcast stealing. Just kidding.
It's
We
the
will
title of our episode. Legal sign stealing.
just we're not stealing from them at all. We do respect their work and are excited
Yeah,
for them. So.
it's why we're hyping them up.
All right, that is all we have for you guys for this episode. So let us know how your in real life team did, how your fantasy team did, and then please share us with your friends, follow us, like us, all of the things.
And guys, no sign stealing in week 6. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.